Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far. Don't scoff when they say it's the end. In this life, you know you can't pretend. The days pass by, they've set in stone. But it's not too late now for you to change.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It is Friday, August 7th, and it is just after 5. We have a lot to cover today, so I want to get into all of that up front before I take your questions. So if you can, hold your questions till just about the end. I want to make sure that that we still that we can get to everything, and I don't have to like search through all of these questions. So I put them right here so that you could, see some of your things, and I can try to see them as well. Michelle will be popping on a little later. She's going to listen to the DC 37 announcement as to who the officers that got elected to DC 37 retirees. Yes, Ellen, it was hot as hell yesterday at City Hall, or the day before, Thursday. Wednesday. It was a very hot day, and we will be back out next week, and I'm going to talk about that next. So let's first say thank you to everyone that came out on Wednesday for our event at City Hall to announce that we had a settlement of $53 million against the city that we'd been working on. And so I want you to, now that this is finally done, I can talk a little bit more about this. Our board started these negotiations with our whole team, with the other side, going back to January 27th, 2025. And I can tell you that date for a fact because that day was my birthday, and I had to fly into the city to be with the board, and we did a 12-hour mediation. It was insane, and we still got nowhere. And then all the back and forth between January of 2025 and to now, it tells you what gets put into an event like this. This is a process. It's not an event. So you're also seeing like the CSA and the UFT put information out, MEA, listen to none of it. All the official information regarding this settlement is going to come from us. They're hypothesizing just from reading the documents that were filed with the court. They're not going to have all of the direct information. Wait till you hear from us, because every time we have had a situation where there was something to do, there was something to file, there was a process for you to complete. We led that charge because we're the ones talking with our attorneys that did all the negotiations. I appreciate the CSA, councils, supervisors. I appreciate MEA and even the UFT trying to put out information to, preempt us. However, they're putting out false information. So let me say this crystal clear right here. This settlement goes from January 1st of 2022 to January 31st of 2023, okay? Then there is nothing for you to do, nothing. There is nothing for you to do quite yet. And we will tell you what you will need to get. There's going to be this process of forms. We're going to do webinars or Zoom calls to show you the documents, explain them to you, give you your options, and tell you how you can do this. We will do that because we designed it. And there were reasons for a lot of the things that happened. There was not in a settlement, you don't get everything that you want, right? And we understood that going into this. Sure, it pissed us all off that we couldn't get everything that we wanted, but we did get a lot. And so it's important for you to understand that process in the coming weeks. We believe we will be able to start this process within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So hang in there. Our goal is that we will be the official person, the official organization to educate you as to the next steps, the processes that will be involved, and then what you can do to handle that. Do not call Emblem. They are not handling this. We are. And because we wanted to make sure that you had a fair chance at putting in your documents, especially if you had an unusual circumstance, the parties agreed to a third party called Atticus that will be able to mitigate these claims. That will be the person that will be handling it, not Emblem. So please, I'm going to beg you, stop asking us a million questions about the copays yet. There's nothing for you to do. When there is, we will tell you. And then, like we did during the NYC EPPO, or like we did during Medicare Advantage, we led you directly on how to handle all of that. So I'm just going to ask you, give us like 2 more weeks for us to get everything up and running in place. You don't have to do anything. There's no one to call. There's nothing to find. There's nothing. Just hang in there. We will then start those webinars to teach you what to do, and we will bring our legal team in to talk to you about it like we did the last time. So hang in there. Stop listening to other people. Don't listen to CSA. Don't listen to UFT. Don't listen to MEA. Don't listen to anybody else. This organization, the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees, we negotiated that settlement. We are going to tell you exactly how it's going to work and help you through that process. The stuff that's being put out right now is misinformation, and it's misleading to you. So I'm just going to ask you, please turn it off. Do not keep pressuring the board monitors on our Facebook page about it. There is nothing for us yet to advise you of. We are putting all of that together, and we will educate you in about the next 2 to 3 weeks. So please just hang in there with us. Okay, let me just take a quick peek. The next thing I want to talk about is thank you for everyone that came out the other day. To be able to be together with the people that helped us out during that event and throughout this process to make this announcement. I also want to thank the press coverage that we had, because that was absolutely huge to show you that you've been fighting this for 5 years. We've been fighting this copay case since 2022. And we also want to remind the people that are saying that they are going to prevent copays from rising, that they are the ones that actually put them in place in the first place for the first time in 60 years. So I have no faith that they're not going to increase them, because they're the ones that initiated them, and they have the power to roll them back instead of complaining that if they remove the copays from Medicare retirees, then it would upset the active teachers, because then they won't get their raises. Their raises, they deserve raises, but not on the backs of you going to the doctor, and that is going to end. We have a lot of things that are going to start coming out about that, and the people that put that in place. So they're going to learn real quick, if they don't back off, that they're going to be exposed in what they did. Okay, next things. Yes, wait for instructions. Next week, put on your calendars, the 13th, Thursday, August 13th. Please put on your calendar to meet me at City Hall by 9 a.m. We are going to then walk through security and line back up on that staircase at 9:30 for a press conference and rally again, because our legislation is being introduced. Okay. We very hard get that in plan, and it's finally going to happen. So you will see us with Councilmember Marte and those that are supporting us. We will be on the stairs for 9:30 in the morning. Trust me, I did not choose that hour. I am not a morning person, but 9:30 a.m. it is going to be, and the stated won't be until 1:30. And if you remember stated meetings, all of the council members are sitting on the floor at their desks, and the only area that we have is up that upper balcony. So if you want, come out for the rally at 9:30, hang out with us, sit with us for a while. We'll see what's going to happen. It's probably only going to be about another 30 minutes. And then by 10 o'clock, you guys can either go home or go hang out, go do something. We can go get a cup of coffee if the weather is good. But at 1:30 is when the stated should start again, if it's maybe 2 o'clock if they're running late. And then we'll go back to City Hall. Again, remember, it's not a lot of space. It's just that balcony area. You'll end up having to sit through the entire thing. And if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. Remember, they broadcast these live on YouTube. You can go back to your home and air conditioning, whatever, and watch it there. So because there's always a risk of heat and weather, we'll take a look at what the weather looks like next week. We're not going to do the rally on the street like we did and broadcast on the billboard truck outside. It's just way too hot. And I don't want to put you guys through that for a bill introduction. So we're going to meet at 9 a.m., press conference rally, 9:30 on the stairs at City Hall. And then I will be back at City Hall to watch the bill be introduced by Councilmember Marte the proper way. So that's the news on the legislation. Let's see. Going crazy with these $15 copays. I know, so is everybody, but the only thing that's going to stop them is the legislation. Unfortunately. Gerald says the city council was determining if our bill proposed was legal. Did they make the determination one way or another? Believe even if they found it illegal, Councilmember Marte could still introduce the bill. Well, no. And they're also recognizing a lot of the rhetoric that they were getting from some of the union leadership that was talking bullshit. So I think they're finally recognizing the mess that they were listening to wasn't real. But there was still some things that we did have to fix. Ellen says there's a Whole Foods near the second floor, where the second floor has a place where the bathrooms where you can hang out. I actually, you mentioned that the other day, but I didn't know where the Whole Foods was. I hope people are aware that they should wait for the Medicare statement to see the max you can be charged, so it's not always a $15 copay. And that's another really good point as well. You say if the MLC does not start linking, teacher raises to our copays, you would expose them, but why not simply expose? I'm not quite understanding what your comment is. We are ready to expose all of that. We're actually quite ready to expose all of that. West End Chambers. Thank you. So there's a Whole Foods on West End Chambers. Okay. What I want to talk about next is for paraprofessionals. So if there are any paraprofessionals on this chat, on watching this video, this section is now going to be for you. You've heard us talk about the paraprofessionals who are in TRS getting an accidental disability retirement, and that they received a letter from TRS, the pension system, telling them that their pensions were going to be cut in half. The law as written is defective. That law was passed with the support of Randy Weingarten in 2002 from the United Federation of Teachers when she was the president then. And it was misinterpreted in many ways, but the text of the law is also defective and is going to need fixing. And we've talked about that. We're working on that as we speak. So what are they doing? They are taking anyone who retired on an accidental disability retirement, that's a paraprofessional in TRS, and reducing their pension by half. They've also told them in a letter that they were overpaid, allegedly, by X amount of dollars, and this letter shows them how much money that was, and that they were going to collect that amount by 1% reduction of their new pension amount for the next 3 years. So they came up with an appeal form, and I want to show you this form today. So let me go to that so you'll see what I'm seeing. So if you see this form, this is the form that was emailed out to you. You all received a letter from TRS telling you that there is an appeal process. They tried to make this letter more understandable. And TRS wants you to know that you can appeal that repayment of the alleged overpayment of what they identified was overpaid to you over the life of your pension. So this new form asks you, and let me go to it so I could read it. It says, Please file this form with TRS if you want to appeal the overpayment recovery plan described in your notification letter. This appeal is only for the recovery plan. For example, the 1% deducted from future payments. The correction of your retirement allowance cannot be appealed. So, and I'll explain that in a second. TRS must receive this form within 90 days of the date of your notification letter. So that's going to go back to that June 18th date. So I need you guys to do this ASAP because you have 90 days from that date. You may appeal based on one or both of the following criteria. You did not know or could not reasonably be expected to know that your retirement benefits from TRS were overstated, and or the terms of your pension overpayment recovery plan indicated in your notification level will cause you significant financial hardship. That asks you to mail this form to the TRS at 55 Water Street, and if you have any questions, to contact the number on the letter. I'm going to also remind you, when you do this, you must keep a copy of it. You must keep a copy of everything that you communicate with when you do things like this. This information right here is kind of self-explanatory. Name, your last four, your social, okay? The checkbox says check here if you've entered new contact information, because of course they're going to want to stay in touch with you and they want to know if they have to update your address. Now, they amended the form from last night. This says, Part B, in this space, please indicate the reasons for appealing the overpayment recovery plan described in your notification letter. You may attach additional sheets or supporting documentation if needed. Now, as a wise man once said, you have to use the KISS system. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Let's keep it simple. We don't need to keep adding extra pages if we don't have to. So, the first one, and look, they even pre-populated it for you. I did not know or could not reasonably have been expected to know that my TRS retirement benefits were overstated because TRS calculation error. Now, if I were you, to me, I'm going to take this as a hint. That's the answer. And you don't need to get into any other details. You don't even need to go into the whole financial hardship thing. They pre-populated that. Number one is fine for me. And if I were you, that'd probably be the one I would choose. And it does say, you're welcome. And it does say, please read the statement and sign below if you are an agent or representative signing this on behalf of someone. So that would be if you're doing this for your mom or your aunt or someone who's unable to do this. It says, I certify I would like to appeal the overpayment recovery plan described in my letter, the 1% deducted from future payments to recover the overpayment amount. I understand that TRS's correction of my retirement allowance is not subject to appeal. I understand that I must return this form within 90 days of the date of the notification letter, and I certify that the information provided on this form is accurate in the best of my knowledge. If signing as an agent, I certify I have no knowledge or notice that my authority as the member's beneficiary agent has ended by revocation, termination, death, divorce, or otherwise. Check here if you're signing as an agent. Sign it, date it, make a photocopy of it, and put that in your para folder, and then you are going to mail this to TRS. If you click off the second option, they're probably going to want documentation to prove your hardship. I'm fine with saying if I were you, because I can't tell you what to do, but if I were you, I would just leave the pre-populated one. I think they're kind of giving you a gift here and saying, that's the answer. and just send it in and do this quickly, okay? Okay, so Anne, this was yesterday's, what do we cross out? So you don't need to cross out anything on here, and let me explain that to you. So in the guidance we gave you the other day, we said, if you didn't like that statement, you can cross that out and initial it. I don't see you having to do that here because based on the letter of the law that's in place, you can't appeal. There's nothing to appeal on the reduction of your pension from 2/3 to 1/3. So the advice that we're giving you is this is for the overpayment only. The only thing that's going to be able to fix this, and guys, you know how passionate we are about fighting injustices. We've been doing this for 5 years, day and night, 24/7. Our board, our members have just been working their buns off to make sure that justice comes your way. In this situation, the law literally states that you are supposed to get a 1/3 pension, not 2/3. I understand the justification is different, the interpretation, but this was just a poorly written law, and that law needs to be changed. So this document is only for appealing the overpayment. There is nothing that we're able to see that we went through 4 attorneys to appeal the law, the reduction from 2/3 to 1/3. What we're telling you is that if there are any of you that have 20 years of service or more, if you're eligible for a service retirement, you would have 20 years that would pay you a 40% pension. If you had 25 years, you'd be entitled to a 50% pension. And we know that's not most of you. So in the guidance that we originally were giving you, we told you if you didn't like that shaded out box, you can cross that out, initial it, and send it in. There's really nothing for you to do in this form. This form, they're literally saying, we did this. This appeal is only for the overpayment. That this is not an appeal for the reduction from 2/3 to 1/3. So, Anne, I hope that clarifies that based on this new revised guidance from TRS, this new letter that they just sent you, this new form that just came out today. Okay. I know I would like to, scream from the rafters that this is unfair, and it is unfair. But this form is only for the overpayment. So there's nothing to cross out. My suggestion to you is they're pre-populating one. That's kind of like a hint. Just check off that, sign the bottom, and send it in. And that will stop that overpayment collection. Okay. That money's the amount that they put in your letter. So that's a partial help. I know it's not a huge help, but that will then waive that. And that's really a temporary, this is how do I explain that? I don't want to minimize what has happened to you, because what's happened is absolutely horrific, that they reduced your pension by 50%. This will at least stop them from taking that 1% back over the next 3 years, okay? The rest of it, the reduction, we're going to have to change that law. And this is why I said to you, it's not impossible. This is a heavy lift because the legislature is out of session. But what we need to do is what you actually kind of did last night when you guys got that email, as did I, from Randy Weingarten and Michael Mulgrew, that says, this is unfair, it's inhumane. And we're like, where the hell have you been for 2 months? And we're like, okay, you're with us now? Thank you. Now let's fight. Because now what's going to have to be done is a bill has to be drafted to amend Section 605 of the retirement law so that you could keep the pension that you have. I do believe the intent of the union at the time was that you would get 2/3. The way it was worded was very poor, and that I believe the intent would have been, especially your titles that were eligible for workers' comp, that you would have part of your pension from TRS, and if you did collect workers' comp, the whatever was collected from workers' comp would offset that 2/3. So you could technically get your pension from 2 different places, just not the same place. Now, if you're not getting comp, then all of it would come from, TRS. So there's going to have to be some language fixes, and I'm going to pray, say my rosaries every single night that UFT is going to take the lead on that, because that's really where it needs to come from. And they would have our support, I'm sure, fix para pay and fix retiree benefits, because we did start this movement, to be honest with you. Let's see. Marie is saying, will the new law include paras or just going forward? So that's a really good question, and I would like to see that it covers everybody. I would like to see that this does provide a 2/3 disability retirement with a 100% workers' comp offset. And what that means is you'd be entitled to 2/3 accidental disability pension. And if you were collecting workers' comp, because you're not supposed to make more than the amount. So you would, if the law says you're entitled to 2/3 your final average salary for an accidental disability retirement. And with a workers' comp offset, you would get 2/3. However, if you're getting workers' comp, TRS would reduce what they're paying you by what workers' comp is paying you. It'll always be 2/3. It may just come from two different places. And if comp ever stops paying you, which they will, then you would take that letter, because they're going to say, hey, dear Marianne, we're not going to pay you workers' comp anymore. Your benefit is ending. You would take that letter, give it to TRS, and they would bump up your payment so that you were getting 2/3 from the pension system. And I would like to see them correct this. Okay. So I know Randy was an attorney. She used to work at Strook and Strook back in the day. She still has AFT lawyers at her disposal and UFT in-house lawyers at their disposal. I'm sure they will come up with an appropriate draft to fix this mess now that they understand what's happened. Let's just give them a little time, since now they're just finally getting engaged in this. Yes, after 2007, that should end. You'll always have medical. Medical will be with you for your lifetime. Typically, it's just the cash payments are what stop. To confirm, the rally at City Hall is August 13th at 9. Yes. Can you say once again which titles this affects? Paraprofessionals in the Teachers Retirement System, TRS. Repeal well, dear, tier 6 has supposedly been mostly fixed. There are some union members who claim mistakes will happen. So what? Oh my God, when the pension miscalculation like this occurs and TRS expects the retiree to pay the consequences, it's unacceptable, and no one should allow such injustices to get normalized. And this is what happens, Laura, when the leadership of like a union like the UFT doesn't want to step in the fray. And there could be reasons why they don't want to do that. It doesn't make it right, but I'll tell you why I understand that. You have a union right now that expended a lot of political capital in fixing tier 6, a lot of political capital to create a law that kind of skirts collective bargaining to provide a respect check for the same very powers that we're talking about that are active, right? Now you're asking them to step up again, which they should, to protect retired paraprofessionals on disability that got hurt in the line of duty, whose pensions have just been cut by 50%. That should be, you want to talk prioritizing your issues, that should be a major priority, because that affects every single retired, disabled paraprofessional right now. They were told like June 8th, they called their union on June 8th. They kept calling them. They got a letter June 18th, and then they got a letter like July 25th or something. They called their union, their former union, UFT, every time. And even as of yesterday, the UFT said, sorry, there's nothing you could do. One of them was told, you called yesterday and we told you there's nothing we could do. So I'm really happy to see that UFT did come around with the support of AFT and that they're going to work on this with us. And I'm very happy to see that. And for all of you that stayed persistent, that's what the power of collective action does. When we all get together and we did a petition to help get that out, I mean, the AFT and UFT got probably about 1,500 emails in a matter of a week. Thank you to Dan and Arthur and Fixed Retiree Benefits and Fixed Para Pay that put out that information, because 1,500 emails in like a week or so, that tells you need to focus on this. And those numbers are climbing every day, right? And there still needs to be work done. So this isn't going away. And that's what happens when we all get together and we use the power of our voice to fight back, okay? Don't give up on that. And don't ever feel that because they have a loud voice or a big mouth or whatever, that they're going to control what happens. It doesn't happen that way. You, by joining together forces of like-minded people, and you can pressure them to do the right thing. Should we have had to do that? No. They should have stepped up on June 8th when you guys called them. But I'm grateful that they stepped up today. So I'll say thank you, Michael Mulgrew and Randy Weingarten, for stepping up and helping us out with this mess. Even though you didn't want to rent me your meeting room the other day, I won't hold that against you, but I'm going to say thank you. And I'm glad that you're on board finally. So we get our original payments back if the law is corrected. Sherry, you would get your payments back if the law is retroactive. So we're going to start on that campaign next week, my dear. We need this fixed retro to 2002. And I believe that that's what's going to happen. And that's what we're going to push for. And yes, you would be made whole for anything that you did pay back. It took them 2 months of public pressure. Yes, my brother, I am aware. But it did work. Should they have done it on June 8th when the first paraprofessional called the UFT? Yes. Yes. Yes and yes. Most of us don't get comp anymore. It stopped. I'm aware. I'm aware. You are welcome, Peter. I thought the city had 5 years to check. No. To check pension amounts. So the city is supposed to be making sure that it's implementing the pension correctly. What happened was, it is not like people want to blame TRS today for that. The people that are at TRS today are not the people that were at TRS 20 years ago. This decision somehow was made at some point in time by people that are probably no longer even there. And this issue was not identified at TRS. It wasn't like someone woke up one morning and said, let's just screw a bunch of paraprofessionals. That's not how that happened. So understand something, that this came from another agency that was brought to their attention, and the law department is the one calling the shots. It's not TRS. And when we did speak to some of the TRS people, they were explaining how, they were emotional with many of the paras on the phone, crying with them out of fear and sadness that this was happening because they couldn't understand. Understand that when things like this happen, people there, you do have some heartless people, but the people that were answering the phone at TRS, they weren't that. They were really trying to figure out, why is this happening? And they weren't fully, the people on the calls weren't given all of the background information. They can only relay to you what they were told. But the more that information came to them, as the more calls we were making to the call center, and they were really trying to help. And you could hear the emotion in some of their voices trying to help the member we were on the phone with. So understand that it's not always what that's made out to be. I was more disappointed in the calls that were made with the welfare fund, that those people were like, well, you called yesterday and we told you that there's nothing you could do. Okay, have a good day. Okay, have a good day. Like, meanwhile, your whole life is crumbling around you. There was no empathy. There was no empathy. That's really the best word. And many of you kept calling us, and me and Bob, our vice president, was answering your emails or your calls, because we understand what this does to you. We've been fighting this kinds of injustice now for 5 years, of someone taking something away from us. We get it. So we're still here trying to work out these things for you. We're not going away just because the UFT decided to step up. Can the UFT work out something with the municipal credit union for emergency loans? Well, Ellen, I don't want to see people get loans if they don't have to, because then that just puts them further behind. And if they're retired, they can't take a pension loan. Their pensions are already collecting on their pensions. But I want to see that we can get an amendment introduced like immediately, and try to get, even though the session is over, I get it. But there can always be a session called for an emergency, like there usually is around December-ish, when they go back to Albany, sometimes to give themselves a raise. And remember, this is an election year. So I think they're going to want to help people. My belief is, I'd like to believe that they would like to help these people, because this is dire. Like, this isn't something that can wait till spring. This needs to be done now. And this would also prove that legislatures can do something when they put their minds to it. And I think with the power of the UFT and the AFT behind it, it can get done. Also with our nudging along. Yes, the UFT is way behind putting members first. I agree, my dear. Edith, is the legislation will contemplate retroactive reimbursements for those? Yeah, so Edith, that's what we're actually looking at. And actually, we do want to talk to you, and we want to talk to Anthony if he's on here later. So I will probably be giving you a call. But yes, the goal is to pass a law that would be retro to the original intent of the bill, that was poorly worded, that would provide you that. And if if the TRS has already, as they did, they started reducing your pension with the July pension check. So you've already experienced a cut in your income. If this law is passed and it covers you back to the date where the pension bill date, TRS will reimburse you. They will have to, because the law then changed. Okay. Let's see. Numbers count. Yep. Yes, Dan is pretty good at putting those petitions together. I will do whatever. You're welcome, Sherry. Don't worry. We're not leaving you. Are you finally getting a seat at the table? Well, you might see a few people with some bruises on their ribs, but I don't know if we have a seat at the table yet. If TRS would agree to use the same protections under ERISA, which they can do, this will never happen again. And the city will never do that. I hope they get every power that is involved before this 90-day appeal timeline expires. I hope they do too. Yes. Anne, please clarify who we have to write letters to and make calls. So, Anne, I did send you guys an email today. I think today or yesterday. Today? I think today. Whatever no, it was yesterday. I sent you an email yesterday telling you the emails that you had to write. You want to write to your state elected official. That would be your state senator, your state assembly member, and tell them that you need to make an amendment to RSSL 605. Send them one of the articles that appeared in the Chief Leader or in Work Bites or in the City Reporter. I mean, there's Staten Island SI Live put it out. Staten Island Advance put it out. Put out this information and say, hey, there's a link to this story, this story, this story. They just cut my pension by 50% last month. Can you please help introduce a bill? Now, we believe we may have someone ready to introduce this bill amendment for us, and we will talk more about that hopefully next week. But we're not taking a side seat on this. We're going to make sure that we're looking at whatever language that they put in so this doesn't get screwed up another time, because no retiree should have to wait 2 months or 6 months or keep fighting for reimbursements for 5 years or fight our benefits being changed by someone who's not looking out for us. We have to look out for ourselves, and we're fine with doing it with other entities, but they must include us in the conversation. We're not going away. And if they don't, if they don't include us, we're going to keep exposing that. So trust me when I tell you, you will hear and see the proposed language before someone has the bright idea to introduce it without talking to you first. Okay. So yes, you do want to urge them. Look at what the petition says that Dan had put up, that all of the things that we want, right? The city council, there's members already here waiting to help you. And that's a good sign. But we need the state elected to pass this bill. So we need to educate them what it's about. And the UFT and AFT have the power to do that with us to make sure that your voice is heard. But you calling your elected will definitely help. I have not received the paperwork to appeal the alleged overpayments. Please advise me to get the form. Okay, perfect, Priscilla. So here's where, let me grab that form real quick. And I'm going to put this in the chat. But if you went to our social media, I also put it there. It's on the link for today for this meeting. And I will do a newsletter because it's been a while since I did one. And I will also put it in the newsletter. You should have received an email from TRS today, and that is where the appeal letter is. Now, some of you asked TRS, can you please not reduce my pension until October? And they granted you that. For a moment, let me just see if I can drop that link into Instagram, because Instagram doesn't get my messages here. So let me put it in Instagram manually, come back to you guys. So some of you asked TRS, can you not reduce my pension for at least October? And TRS said, yeah, sure. That gives you time to make arrangements, whatever you need, because they really didn't give you a lot of time to do that initially. So if you message them when you do this appeal, write them a letter and say, hey, can you just defer doing this for a couple more months? Ask them October, November, December, January. Can you start taking this in January? See what they say. It's worth asking, because the worst that they could say is, no, I can't do January, but maybe I'll do October or November. Ask them to defer it, because then that would give us a little bit more time to try to get this amendment in and passed and signed into law. And that way maybe the penalty, well, you won't feel it as bad, or at least for as long. But it gives us time to try to get this law changed, okay? And that's where the form is. Check the comments. It's here. And I promise I will put it out in the newsletter. It is also on my personal Facebook page. It also went out on all of our socials, depending where you're watching me. It was on Instagram. It's in the Instagram chat. It's on LinkedIn. It's on Facebook. It's on X. And it's in the comments here on YouTube. So if you see the Facebook post that I put up before on Facebook, I posted the link to this chat, to this video, and I put, if you are a TRS paraprofessional that this affects and you need the appeal form, here's the link. But TRS did send you a letter today. They sent you an email and with a link to the appeal form, and that's the appeal form. So hopefully you're able to find that. If you didn't get it, that's you have it from us. And even if TRS deferred your reduction of your pension, file the appeal for the overpayment. Do it anyway, and keep a copy of it, like I said, because at least if something happens, you always have a copy. But they'll put it in the file, and they'll keep a running tabulation of all of the people that did file it, so that when they do send you your letters in October, you'll have that there. The UFT sent an email today with the link. Yes, they absolutely did, Edith. That's the one I'm talking about. What is the amendment? So Long Beach. So the amendment should read something to the effect that teachers or paras or anyone in TRS would be entitled, in the titles that it describes, would be entitled to 2/3 accidental disability retirement with a 100% workers' comp offset, which means teachers and paras would get 2/3 accidental disability benefit of their final average salary. And if they were collecting workers' comp, there would be a dollar for dollar offset. That way you're not double dipping or collecting more, or from, too much over the 2/3. You're supposed to have 2/3, you get 2/3. You don't get 2/3 plus, plus, plus. So when most other pensioners in other systems get a pension like this that are eligible for comp, there is typically a workers' comp offset. So that is the way the language probably should have been written. Instead, what it did say was, the law in 2002 said that if you're eligible for comp, you get 1/3. Unfortunately, eligible for comp doesn't mean you're getting comp. And the justification to do this bill in the first place was to prevent you from being at poverty, which claimed teachers would be at poverty if they collected a 1/3 disability retirement of their final average salary. So they wanted to give teachers 2/3. Well, if teachers would be at poverty on a 1/3, what the hell would paras be at? So, and that's unfortunately right where they put you today. At well below poverty, bringing you a 1/3 disability retirement. So we know that that law was not the intent. They did not intend to harm you. It was just a very poorly worded law, and it does need to be fixed. So give us some time to work on that, but we need you to help us with that. You need to call your elected, and you need to pressure Michael Mulgrew still to, hey, let's do this now. We need to work on this amendment today. So hopefully they will listen to you, because you're the ones that are affected. Is there anything that people not affected by this salary reduction can do to help besides signing the petition? Right now, no, not that I'm aware of, but if something does come up, Ann, and thank you for asking, I will be sure to ask all of you. Forget the language of a teacher, get this, and para gets this, all members get treated the same. And that would, I believe you, I agree with you. And I don't think it really should have been spelt out that way, but if you read the law written in 2002, it does specifically mention teachers. So it should talk about members of TRS, and I'm hoping they clarify that too. And you're welcome to go and write Randy and Michael and ask them that should be what it looks like. Quick question, can we ask for a freeze? So yeah, Sherry, you can absolutely ask TRS to not reduce your pension, they're not going to stop it. I doubt they would do that. You can ask them for a period of time. I don't think they'll stop it altogether. They're being told by the law department that they are required to do this. The law department is telling, if you read all of the comments, the law department is saying that they had made the guidance that this has to be done, which means lawyers are telling an agency to do this. So they were supposed to do this effective July. Some of you already had that reduction. Some of you asked for an extension and you were given to October. See if it doesn't hurt to say, hey, could you extend this, implement the reduction of my pension in January? Give me a few months to get on my feet and prepare for this. The worst they could say is no. And you can ask them, if you can't do January, what month can you do? And see what they would say. It's worth talking to them about and make that request and see what happens. And then let us know, because we would make sure that we're sharing this with everyone. Please share this information on your social pages as well, because there's still a lot of paras that haven't been reached. I mean, we're only dealing with a small number of you of that 183 people. So we need to reach out to as many as paras as we finally can, because 10 people will tell 10 people will tell 10 people, and hopefully we'll find the rest of the 183. You, Mary, and your technical, administrative, and legal knowledge and ability to articulate is a rare jewel. You are the Hope Diamond. Aw, thank you, Larry. You guys are so sweet. I know yesterday we were getting messages. You guys are just so appreciative of what we're doing. But you know what? This is what a union does. This is what a union should do. And if the unions were doing this, then we wouldn't have any reason to exist. But that's a whole nother show. I can't believe that Marie Para, who's on the executive board at UFT, isn't being allowed to get on their negotiating board. I hear you. As a retired para, I just want to say our pension is pathetic. Yes, Marianne, your pension is pathetic and your wages are pathetic, but I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart. Your union had the ability to raise your wages in the last contract because they had an additional $450 million. And if you read the Substacks of both Arthur and Daniel, you will see that there's proof from the contract that they could have given you raises. This could have been done at the table multiple times over decades. It shouldn't have come to this point. But unfortunately, they made whatever decisions that they made at the time that they made them for whatever reasons that they did. And that's why your pension sucks, is because your wages suck. And I can't do anything about that. All I could do is help you try to fix this cluster, whatever. And that's what we can do. And our board has been working with you to help fix that. Prescription drugs, Express Scripts doubled and tripled their prices in July. Gee, does anyone want to know why that happened? I'm going to suggest maybe the real DAC. Are you on the NYC EPPO? Does it have anything to do with the redacted contract that we kept telling the union leaders, don't sign this contract because it's redacted? Does anyone want to know about that? And also, if you're on the Medicare Part D drug plan for the city, we have been begging you, if you're able to look for a plan on the marketplace, because what's happening with the drug plan in the city is absolutely horrible. And I can also tell you officially what we're being told is that the President Trump taking away the subsidy on the Part D plans, allegedly, I'm telling you what they told me, will not have any impact on a New York City Medicare Part D drug plan recipient. But I will hopefully have more for you on that next week. But I am told that the change coming from the federal side will not impact you, a New York City retiree on a city drug plan. Let's see, what else do we have? New formulary. Doug, I do not know, but I could find out. And some of you are on different emblem plans because some of you are sanitation, some of you are 237, some of you are, wherever you guys are, but I don't know which plan you're talking about. To stay level-headed and not lose sight of how time-sensitive this para situation is important. Thanks for the way you're discussing this, Marian. You're welcome, Laura. I'm just, it's frustrating to watch, and that we can't really do anything other than help you advocate for a fix. Thank you, Laura G. I'm still trying to get myself and fixed para pay executive board members who are executive, negotiating committee, and paras have a real voice. For those paras who don't have computers or printers, can they take photos of the TRS phone with their cell phones instead? I don't see why not. I'll make sure I put the link up on the computer, but they're getting an email, and the email is going to them. They're also probably getting letters or something in the mail with the forms if they don't have an email. I mean, it would be up to TRS can't email someone if they don't have an email. So I'm sure they can, but it would have to be clear without a shadow. And if they don't have a printer, they can always go to the library. I believe that it has taken people like you to bring it to light, and now something is going to be done. I thank you. You're welcome, Migda. And even, to say, and I said to you guys a long time ago that we may not be able to fix this, but if we can help be the catalyst with fixed para pay and fixed retiree benefits, the catalyst would be to get the union to do the right thing. And at least we woke them up today, right? We woke them up last night. Let's see that they actually do something, because they want to keep saying that they represent retirees, but it took them 2 months of a bunch of retirees being an annoying pain in their ass to do something. And I'll tell you a funny story. So many of the union presidents that we talk to, and there's a lot of them, and we have this running joke, and I'll always joke with them that I'm just a pain in their ass. So I'm a pimple on their ass, right? I'll joke with that all the time. And one of the unions said to me, "No, Marianne, you're not a pimple on their ass. You're a festering boil on their ass. And we absolutely love you for that." And I don't know why they're afraid to be that festering boil. I have no problem with that, because if you're not going to expose the criminality of what they're doing, the inhumane tactics, these secrets with like a major spotlight on the bullshit, then I will do that every single time with my team and make sure that that's exposed every single day. The reason why we're in this place is because people kept secrets and they did things behind closed doors that they should never have done. And I'm always will take pride in doing that. That's why we're here, is to expose that. We have our debunking bullshit page, and we use that page. So unfortunately, it's something that needs to be done, because too many union leaders became corporatists, got into bed with management, colluded with management against their workers, against their retirees, and sold off our benefits. And we're never going to tolerate that. Does anyone use Medicare Part D? Yes, there are many people that are using the city drug plan at $180 a month. Has the UFT welfare fund increased this year? I honestly don't know. You'd probably have to ask Dan or Arthur. We DC 37 retirees voted this morning for our preferred officers. Thanks for the advice of our candidates. And I'm hoping Michelle will actually ping me, because I'm hoping she'll let me know who got elected, because we're here and she's at that meeting. So I can't tell you who got there. We're supposed to make that announcement today. You're welcome. We always watch what Mulgrew does, not what he says. So pressure has to stay on him. And that's an unfortunate thing, Marie, because we've joked about that he wants to say one thing, but does he ever really follow through? Or what does he say publicly and what is he doing behind the scenes? And he's not the only one like that. You are one of a kind. Well, there's a lot of people that would probably be grateful for that. Whatever happened to trying to make health insurance for widows, widowers, and orphans continue? Is it still not funded? And someone asked me that question the other day, but I'll get you an answer for that for next week. Thank you for continuing to work with us on the DEA creditable coverage debacle. And we're not done on that either. That's going to take more time, but I'm telling you that DEA plan is not a creditable plan. And I'm going to write that down as a note, because OLR still never got back to me on that, and neither has the DEA. Okay. Question 2, for the paraprofessionals. For the paraprofessionals that this impacts, did anyone receive a UFT consultation, meaning you sat with someone from the United Federation of Teachers, not TRS. Even if you did sit with TRS, I'm not asking about TRS. I'm asking about the UFT. Did anyone receive a pension consultation from the United Federation of Teachers who is an accidental disability retired para who they were given, as you're learning today or a month ago, 2 months ago, the wrong information? I'm looking for accidental disability paraprofessionals that are impacted by this debacle who were given guidance by the United Federation of Teachers in a pension consultation with the UFT, and that you were given documents, you were given paperwork, you were told verbally or in writing that your pension would be 2/3. I want to know that. And if you have those documents, scan them and send them to the organization at retirees@nycretirees.org. We need to know that. So if there's something that you have that shows that the UFT, not TRS, I'm not concerned about that right now. Did the UFT tell you that your pension would be 2/3 and or your workers' comp would be in addition to your pension? We need to see that. Send it to the organization and we'll be in touch. Okay. They said we were a rump movement. Yes, they did. That was Harry Nispoli. They are self-preservationists, not unionists. Yes, Brother Dan. They are preserving their patronage jobs, my friend. I researched my new prescription through Emblem Pharmacy Services. Ask for an Oscar. Can you recommend a Part D drug plan in lieu of Emblem Health? I was skeptical to switch. Okay, so Anne, open enrollment will start, I believe, in October. So what you can do today or the weekend is go on to Medicare.gov. I did a video on this on our channel. I will try to link that in our newsletter as well. Once you get onto Medicare.gov, it'll ask you, do you want an A, B, C, or D plan? You only want a standalone Part D plan, nothing else. Standalone Part D. Make sure you line up your pill bottles by you, whatever medications you take, and it'll ask you for like your age, your sex, your zip code, and it wants your medications, your dosages, and how often you take them. And then it'll spit out a bunch of plans that are available in your area. And so you want to do this now so that you're starting to look, but you want to do it again in October when open enrollment happens in Medicare, not the city. I think the city usually opens up about a month later. You want to start looking now so you have an idea of how it works, and then you're going to do it again in October when open enrollment starts. And you're going to look for a plan. And typically those plans, and depending where you live, they run $0 to about an average on $40. And so you will be saving a lot of money. Yes, the UFT will still give you that reimbursement of up to $900 on your drug plan, but they're probably going to end up paying you less because you're not paying $180 a month, but they will still reimburse you up to that $900. Okay, let's see. I use HealthSpring at $35.70. Thank you, The Real Dak, for reinforcing what I'm saying. It is a huge savings to a lot of people, and you do need to check them annually because those plans do change. Yes, I have all the paperwork reflecting. Thank you, Anne. Make sure you send it to us. Myself and Bob will write you back. But we're looking specifically for that. Me, 3 consultations. And yes, you were not only spoken to by UFT in general, you actually received a consultation, I believe, with leadership, which blew all of our minds. Yes, I spoke with Nikki McDougall, disability specialist. Send me what you got, my friend. You mentioned how OLR started pushing our senior care copays and that Mulgrew was somehow in that closed door team. In other words, they, without the other unions and MLC. Yes. And we can prove that. Absolutely. 100%. Medicare Part D plans in New York are more expensive in other states. Yes, but they're not $180. You can get a Part D plan for about 75% less than $180. Yes, Marie. Thank you for saying that. See, you guys listen. I know you do. The others, they're thinking, oh God, I'm not going to get anything better than OLR. No, you're getting really royally screwed through OLR. The city pays many union welfare funds for pension counseling. So if the welfare funds give incorrect advice and the soon-to-be retiree relied on, then the union bears some responsibility. Yes, Ellen, they do. You read my mind, my sister. The fear is that this Trump cut to the subsidy will cause marketplace plans to rise. I'm telling you that I'm being officially told that that won't happen, not with the city plan. I pay $35 a month in Manhattan, 10024 on HealthSpring. Thank you. Yep. The UFT pension people have been doing their final consultations with your data and calculated on their computer systems. Members received their printouts with all their retirement details. Thanks, Douglas. That's what I'm looking for. For what it's worth, OLR HVP answers the phone now. I have to believe that all this info is stored on their computer service. I want to know how the UFT has access to that. That's another interesting question. I pay $43 a month for well care, cost of my medications, and full refund. I live in Manhattan. Thank you. So if not for nothing, guys, this is absolutely showing you that you can get a standalone Medicare Part D drug plan and it not cost you $180. It's literally costing you like average of $40, $45. John, I don't know what your question was. I honestly don't know what your question was. Re-ask the question and I'll answer it again. I'm talking about the marketplace plans going up, not the city plan. Oh, I don't think that's going to happen either. Let me just take a quick peek on over at Instagram to see if anyone asked a question over there. Nope, we're good. Okay. All right, so you're going to email us if you are a retired accidental disability pension paraprofessional who received a consultation from the United Federation of Teachers in which you were discussed what your final average salary and your pension would be, that it would be 2/3. You're also going to give us any documents that you were given by them, by UFT, telling you what your pension would be. And also any information regarding your comp. We are going to be at City Hall Thursday, the 13th at 9 a.m. for a rally for our legislation that'll start at 9:30. Let's see. 9:30. I told you about the appeal. And even if you had your payments deferred or your reduction of your payments deferred till October, still do the appeal. And like I said to you, if it was me and I was doing this, I was filling out this form. They already pre-populated the first one. Don't need to answer anymore. Just leave it at that and sign it and send it in. Keep a copy, put it in your para folder so that you have a copy of it in case this gets lost in the mail because you're mailing this. Okay. And then we'll see you on the 13th. Let's see. I asked if tonight's update pertained to me. Well, John, I don't know if it pertains to you. Go back and watch it. I talked a little bit about everything. And then to close, if you have been listening to our conversations about the $53 million copay settlement, that settlement, we're going to start rolling out the details. Stop listening to other organizations. Stop listening to the UFT, CSA, MEA. Don't listen to anyone else that's putting it out. We negotiated these deals. We are going to start presenting to you with our attorneys how the settlement will work and what you need to do. Please tune out the noise and wait for us to roll it out. We are still waiting for the court to sign off on everything. And then we will start to present with you and set up video recordings as well as live events to work with you in doing this. So that's all of the information that we have today. Anne says, are we going to have a birthday or anniversary party on Thursday? So you know what? Thanks for reminding me of that, Anne. So Thursday, August 13th is our birthday. Our organization was born on Friday, August 13th of 2021. In the middle of the pandemic, we were born to fight our healthcare being taken away from us, forced into Medicare Advantage and these damn copays. we started literally right here on my sofa on a phone call where we invited 40 people to a meeting and 17 showed up, and we created an organization in 2 hours. And by that weekend, we had filed our incorporating paperwork. We created a Facebook page, a YouTube, a PayPal, and that's how we got started. So yes, I'll say maybe Thursday night. We'll definitely celebrate at 9 in the morning, but for those people who are not up at 9 a.m., maybe we'll do a Thursday 5 p.m. live, because I'll probably be flying home on Friday, and we can celebrate our birthday on Thursday. How's that? And we can do that together. So have a cocktail. Yes, it was a Friday the 13th, Diana. It was pretty crazy. Yes. Okay, hold on. Let's see. The info on the DC 37 election documented in the notes. In the notes. Oh, I'm finished the meeting. Put the results in your. Actually, I didn't see that, Michelle. Michelle, I'm going to email you a link that you can click and come and join us. Hold on a second. Michelle is going to give us the, invite a guest. Michelle is going to come on and give us the results of the DC 37 election. Hey, Michelle, give me a second to email you the link and then pop on with me. I don't see your notes. I just sent you the link. Look in your email and come on. Where did I miss that? No, I'm not seeing that. Your chat. Oh, my chat. My chat? No, I'm not seeing that. Click the link and pop on. Let's wait for Michelle to come on. What you doing there, Lucy, baby? Here's Lucy. So Lucy had to go to the doctor today. Lucy, when you hold Lucy, you feel like crunching in her legs, which didn't feel very good. And so when I took her to the doctor after adopting her, the doctor said she has luxating patellas. And I'm like, oh, gee, here we go. Luxating patellas. So I'm going to have to show you her x-rays from today. Lucy's going to need surgery. And they're going to have to move her little kneecaps because right now they're medial. They're like hanging out inside her leg. And they're going to have to break her little shin and move them over and then pin her tendon back in, her ligament back into her bones, because she's walking like a bow-legged old man. And this little dog is going to have both her knees done, and we're going to do them one at a time. Michelle, are you coming? Because I don't want to wait too long to do this. I'm not seeing, and I don't see any of your notes. Let me check my email and see if you emailed me. Nope. Nope. All right. I'm going to try to call her and get it, because you guys should know this. This was one of the things we were trying. And I'm getting like half-assed text messages from people not giving me the full results. So let's see if we can get Michelle on the phone. Oh, there she is. Not coming through. It's not coming through. It's not, Michelle, if you can hear me, it's not. And just join, tell us if you can, or text me the results so I could share them here. Otherwise, I'm just going to hang up. Okay, so who won? The executive VP was Stephanie Thomas. Go ahead. The vice president for Queens is W. Baker. The vice president for the Bronx is Cynthia Cox. Not Anna Berry, who we wanted, unfortunately. Go ahead. Florida is John Henry Lewis, our other retiree. Go ahead. New Jersey is Santos Crespo. And the at-large VP is Barbara Reeves.
There is no meeting on August 27, 2026, as was posted.
There's no meeting for DC 37 retirees on August 26th, so the meeting was canceled. Okay. 27th of August 27th, the meeting has been canceled. Oh, and Michelle Keller's birthday is the 28th, so we have to have a birthday party for Michelle. Okay, go ahead. They wanted to get this out before the convention, right? I agree. Yep, I agree with you. Okay, so you're on your way home? Oh. Oh. I hear you. That's okay. I know. Well, I'm literally talking live as you're talking to me. So, but thank you for that information, and I'll talk to you later. All right, honey. Bye-bye. Okay, so you have the news now. That is who won the election, and I guess they did want to try to get that done because they are moving to the convention. Carrie Weinbaum, as always, thank you for all the updated information. Very helpful on a number of levels. Sorry to hear about Lucy's knees. Yes, I was not happy to hear about that too. Sending our good wishes to yes, and I will keep you posted because she's probably going to have surgery. Like I can't do it now. It's got to wait till like just after 9/11 because she needs 8 weeks to recover. So I've got to be able to be here to do that and stay with her. But thank you for those wishes. Yes, there's actually a canine orthopedic surgeon. I had to drive an hour away with my friend Robin to go and see this orthopedic surgeon. I mean, modern miracles that they could actually fix a bow-legged dog with with kneecaps that go into their legs. It falls out of the groove that they're supposed to be in. I mean, that's just got to be horrible. Yes, and she's like little 4-year-old little Yorkie. I wish Lucy a speedy recovery. I'll keep you posted, Anne, because she'll probably be doing that in September. Yep. Yeah, you rescue those. Yes, she's definitely a rescue. That's insane. Okay, let's see. Lucy has a wonderful mother. Yes, she does. I'll be a poor mother, but let's see. Keep her in a cage. Yes, they told me she has to be kept in a cage and that she should not jump. Yep, they told me that too. I got to get a tiny little cage for her. Hope Lucy doesn't have Medicare disadvantage. She's only 4, so she's a baby. But okay, guys, so I don't want to go too long. That's basically our news for today. I will see you. I will see you on Thursday at 9 a.m. Don't worry, I will do a little poster as a reminder on socials and emails reminding you to come to City Hall to celebrate our bill getting introduced on Thursday the 13th. That is our birthday. We will do like a Thursday night live to celebrate our birthday then. And then keep you posted on everything else. For the paraprofessionals, send us what we're asking you for. Please contact your state elected. You can do that on their portals or on their websites on the weekend. Email them and tell them that you need help fixing and making an amendment to Retirement and Social Security Law, Section 605. We put all of this in the emails to you we've been sending. And we're going to want to get that amendment done now. Tell them now, like we need to get this done now, not like 6 months from now. And please encourage your union leadership of the United Federation of Teachers to work with us in getting this amendment introduced soon. Because the faster we can get this done, the faster we can get this approved. And that's to say that this is an election year. And I want to believe that there's going to be politicians that are going to want to make sure that the people are protected and that your pensions, even though it's 183 of you, some people in the UFT wanted to minimize, well, it's only 183 people. Well, 183 people not getting their income. And let me tell you, kind of put you in a ballpark number of what that looks like. The TRS, the Teachers Retirement System, is like a $450 billion pension system. The cost of this is like $150,000. So they can manage this. This is why you need to make the ask. They could do it and they could fix it, and they've been doing it. So you guys have your homework of what you can do. Please pass around that petition that we did put out. I'll work on an email newsletter for you guys to update you because it's been a while since I did one. And that's really it. I will see you Thursday at City Hall. You guys have a great weekend. Celebrate everything that we've accomplished by this organization. Donate to us. You see up here, please keep donating to us because we still have to have a lot of work that we have to get done. So make sure you share that love and share it with your colleagues and your friends. Make sure that they know who's really here to fight for a retiree. New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees. You're welcome, Sherry. You know, we truly do appreciate all of you trusting us to try to help and guide you. She says, thank you and good night and have a great weekend. I will write some more emails and annoy them. I was so annoyed when they said it was just a small amount of paras. Yes, trust me. This was like when we were in court and the Aetna attorney said to the judge, oh, Your Honor, those retirees' attorney only talked about one woman who died being denied prior authorization for brain surgery. It was only one woman. Like one woman's life was just so insignificant to Aetna. So the day that attorney said that was the first time we were in court after COVID restrictions lifted. The whole courtroom was packed with retirees. We were angry to hear a single person's life was minimized so much by this insurance company. I don't care if it was one para that was screwed or 183 paras that were screwed. If it's one para that's screwed, in the words of Judge Justice Lyle Frank, that is one too many. So you guys have a great weekend. And I'll tell anyone who knows. Thank you. You guys have a great, great weekend. Get out a little bit, enjoy some of the weather. The weather's nice and not too hot, and hang in there and do what we're guiding you to do. Fill out that form. If you have any questions, reach out to us and ask. We will truly help guide you through the rest of that. And then next week, we're going to start on another campaign to make sure that our state elected get the information that they need. I will try to draft you up a letter with Dan and Arthur to get this out to your state people to kind of give them a one-pager on this issue and what needs to be done. Okay? Have a great weekend, everyone. I love you, and I will see you next week. Ciao.
Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far. Don't scoff when they say it's the end. In this life, you know you can't pretend. The days pass by.